Okay, so if you're trying to figure out what's going on with search and AI right now, you already know. It's a confusing time. Everyone is shouting different advice, and this explainer, we're going to cut through all that noise and get right to what actually matters for getting seen online today.
I mean, does this feel familiar? You're trying to do the right thing for your website, but it seems like every article, every expert is shouting a totally different strategy. It feels like you're just spinning your wheels, right? Creating a ton of content with really no results to show for it.
On one hand, you're hearing that AI is going to kill SEO, but in the same breath, someone's telling you to just publish more content than ever. Then you hear that Google flat out hates AI content. And just when you think you've got it figured out, you hear about this new thing called GEO, generative engine optimization, and now you feel like you're already behind. It's a recipe for total overload. So let's just take a breath and step back. The whole point of this explainer is simple. We're going to hit the reset button. We'll get a clear, solid understanding of how search really works today, so you can stop chasing algorithms and start building something that's actually going to last. And to do that, we have to start by getting back to basics. We need to strip away the hype and the jargon and redefine what SEO really is in the first place. Look, at its core, good SEO is about one thing, and one thing only: helping search engines understand your content so they can match it with a real person's question. That's it. This is not about keyword tricks or trying to game the system. It's about being clear, being useful, and proving you can genuinely help someone solve their problem.
So what about that new buzzword, GEO? It sounds super complicated, but just look at the definition. It's about optimizing for AI answers by focusing on clarity, structure, and context. Wait a second. Sound familiar? It should. This isn't some brand new game you have to learn from scratch. It's just an evolution of the exact same principles.
So here's the bottom line. Whether we're talking about a classic search engine or a new AI answering a question, they are both looking for the same things. They want a clear focus, they want genuinely helpful answers, they want a logical structure, and they want to see signs that real people are actually engaging with your content. Human usefulness is still the ultimate metric. Which brings us to the elephant in the room: artificial intelligence. Let's get really clear on what role it should, and more importantly, should not play in your strategy. This is the big question, isn't it? Can you just hand over the keys to an AI tool and watch your rankings magically climb? Well, the short answer is no, not even close. AI can be an incredibly powerful assistant for sure, but it can't own your strategy. So where does AI fit in? Well, think of it as a fantastic assistant. It's a tool that can help you draft initial content, summarize really complex topics, or even create a logical outline to get you started. It can seriously speed up your workflow, but it's just that, the starting point. And this is probably the most important thing to get, it cannot be the strategist. Real strategy requires understanding your unique audience, your business goals, and the intent behind someone's search. And that takes human judgment. In fact, if you just let an AI run wild, it consistently makes 3 huge strategic mistakes. First, it just generates fluff, content with no clear audience or goal. Second, it tries to cram way too many different topics onto a single page, which just confuses search engines. And maybe worst of all, it only thinks page by page. It completely ignores your overall site structure, which is the very map search engines need to understand your expertise. And this, right here, gets to the heart of why so many people think Google hates AI content. It doesn't. Google doesn't care if a human or a robot wrote something. It only cares about the quality of the result for the user. The problem is that AI, without really strong human direction, just tends to churn out shallow, generic, unhelpful content. That's what gets penalized. Okay, so if AI can't be our strategist, and we know keywords aren't some magic bullet, then what's left? This brings us to the core idea here. The real foundation of modern SEO is structure. Think of it this way. Your website structure, that's the blueprint for a house. It defines the rooms, the floors, and how everything connects. It gives search engines a map to understand how all your ideas fit together. Keywords, they're just the paint on the walls and the furniture in the rooms. They're important, for sure. They describe what's inside, but they can't fix a bad blueprint. If there's one thing you write down from this whole explainer, let it be this. Keywords decorate structure, they don't replace it. Your site's organization, its structure, is the foundation. Everything else is built on top of that. So why is this so powerful? Because a clear, logical structure sends a massive signal of authority. It shows a search engine that you understand your topic so deeply that you've organized it intentionally. It proves that your website isn't just a random pile of articles, but a coherent, thoughtful resource. And this brings us right back to the future of search. These new AI systems that generate answers, they need to be able to understand, interpret, and compare information really, really quickly. A well-structured website makes their job easy. It's way more likely to be seen as a reliable source and get referenced in those AI-generated results. Good structure is basically future-proofing your content. All right, enough theory. Let's make this real. Let's turn all this into a simple, actionable playbook that you can start using today. So here's your new focus. You can stop being a content factory, trying to churn out daily blog posts. You can stop obsessing over perfect keyword density. Instead, you need to focus on building a clear site structure, filling it with genuinely useful content, and making sure every single page has a clear, intentional purpose. It's all about quality and clarity, not quantity. So, how do you use AI the smart way? You use it as your accelerator. Let it help you draft content and organize your thoughts. But then, you, the human strategist, have to step in. You apply your judgment, you refine the message, you focus it on a real user's intent, and you edit aggressively until it's sharp, clear, and valuable. You know, when you make this shift, the result is pretty profound. You get to stop that exhausting chase for rankings on a few specific keywords. Instead, you start building a library of understandable, durable content that actually serves your audience and stands the test of time, no matter how search technology changes. And that leaves us with one final question for you to think about. As you move forward, take a hard look at your website and your strategy and just ask yourself this. Are you building for algorithms that change every few months, or are you building for timeless human understanding? The answer to that question is going to determine your success.